Good morning. Welcome back here. We're going to go do some scouting this morning. We need to look at some of our corn, see if it's ready to spray, V5, and see if there's any weeds, if we need to add any glyphosate, what all needs to be in our tank mix. Let's go find out. Some of the corn is looking pretty darn good, but we are getting a little variable. We're getting some yellow spots. That has a lot to do with soil moisture holding capacity, and any compaction issues are showing up because we're so dry. If the roots can get down and find some moisture, then the corn looks pretty good. If they can't, then it's getting a little stunted and uneven. So we're gonna go back here to the middle of these three fields and we'll walk out into all of them a little bit. We've got some corn on corn over here. We've got some not corn on corn. That was wheat last year over there. So we'll see what things look like out here. All right. So this field was planted. Oh, we do have some grass out here. Look at this. Obviously, there's no canopy. There's not going to be any canopy here, and it's right in the corner. Probably not the end of the world. We'll see how it is out in the field farther, but I don't love that. Again, we have not had the rain to activate our herbicides, our pre-emerge herbicides, and that's really, it's going to be a problem is what it's going to be. But this corn's going to grow really fast, especially once we do get some rain, and so it's going to shade anything small out pretty quickly. And once we do get some rain, that herbicide should reactivate, and it should, I don't know if it's going to kill much of this stuff that's out here or not. Might have to talk to Dad. You see that one he got dinged by the herbicide, got all curled up, but it's not dying. So anyway, let's look at the corn, growing fast, looking really good. Here's our bottom leaf, rounded tip. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, we don't quite have a fifth leaf collar on that one. All right, so we're not behind. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 is right there, so just barely. So we could wait till the first of the week probably if we wanted to here. We might go a touch early. I like to wait until the corn's at least at V5. So V5 is when we're setting that number of rows around, right? So that's a critical growth stage, and we want to protect the corn as much as possible. But V5 to V7, V8 is kind of the window for this application. The bigger the corn gets, the more it's canopied, the less chemical I have hitting the ground, which I don't really want because fungicide hitting the ground does me no good whatsoever. So the bigger the corn is, the less waste we have, but the less ideal the timing is for what we're trying to accomplish. Make sense? Now, another factor here is that with as dry as it is, I think this fungicide is going to be extremely beneficial. And you may be thinking, wait a minute, that doesn't make sense because fungicides, fungus diseases, they typically attack the plants when it's wet or when there's moist, damp conditions and stuff. And you're right. But I think the bigger factor in these fungicides, especially this V5 application, is the stress mitigation aspect of it. It helps the plants deal with and regulate themselves from this drought stress and from heat stress, which we're getting both of right now. And so I remember a few years ago, I had sprayed some corn. I looked at a field on, I think it was a Friday or Saturday, and we sprayed it. It was the right timing. And then I didn't look at it, went back on Monday, and we were hot and dry, and that field looked totally different. Like it looked like it doubled in size over the weekend. And so that fungicide helps that plant deal with being dry and being hot. And so I think that's a bigger deal some years than the actual disease aspect of it. This field is definitely patchier. This is corn on corn. So we had a little more residue out here. It's tying up a little bit more of our nitrogen as we break down that residue. And it's making the corn a little bit uglier. Now right here it looks really good. Let's see what we're at here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That one's way past V4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That one's not quite. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we're right in that window. But then we come over here where the corn doesn't look quite so good. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4. V4. Some striping. Some sulfur deficiency, maybe some zinc deficiency. I don't know. All things that I had in the starter. I don't think we were still having starter issues by the time we got here. Shouldn't have been. So I'm not real sure without doing some tissue testing and stuff. But again, it's probably not a situation where we're deficient and it's not there in the soil. It's the fact that we haven't had any moisture. We can't get stuff into the plant. This field is cleaner though. I see very little for weeds out here. Little grasses and stuff, so that's a good sign. I really don't want to have to spray Roundup on all the corn acres. There's a few fields where I know we're going to, but I don't want to on the majority of it if I can help it. So the question becomes, do we wait and let this little stuff grow a little bit? Do we spray it now, try and take some stress off of it while we're waiting for some rain here? What all else can I put in the tank to make it grow better? There is a little of this grass out here on the edges. Seems to be mostly in the end rows that we're having problems. So I wonder if we mix up a tank load of just just Roundup, nothing else in the tank, water and glyphosate, no fungicide, and we just border some fields and spray some perimeters with that. All right, we're in another field now. Let's look at this one. You can see we got a little anhydrous burn here. That's what this purpling and brown is on the end of these bottom leaves here, especially on these ends where we were turning and stuff. That's burn from our anhydrous. The new leaf tissue that's grown since we side dressed this looks really good. That's what I'm afraid is going to happen down to Berkey on some of that stuff that I was talking about yesterday where it was leaking out. It's just going to burn those bottom leaves and it'll grow out of it, but it looks bad for a week or two. This wasn't the first corn we side dressed, but it was pretty early. Day 3 maybe. Clean. I don't see the grass out here. That's a good sign. Yeah, this looks better. A little uneven, but not terrible. We got a spot there, but then it comes right back up. Yeah, this doesn't look too bad at all. So, what do we got here? We got a burnt up first leaf. I assume that one's the first leaf. Yeah, this one. That one's definitely a first leaf. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. V5. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't know. Is that one a first leaf? No, I don't know. It's right there. It's close. I think we're gonna spray stuff, trying to take some stress off of it. Came up here to another field to look and see what we got for weed pressure. This corn is beautiful. Oh, this looks great. And the best part of this field's back up over this hill. So if the corn up front looks this good, man, we're in good shape here. Let's see what we got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, right there. Looks clean here. That's what I was curious is, do we have any grass, any weeds? Honestly, I don't see any. We got deer. Yeah, right there. Deer tracks. Come and pull the whorls out. They just grab the center of the stalk and eat them. Oh yeah, got a bunch of it there. Bastards. Another field of corn on corn here. Right here on these corners, we do have some more grass. How about out in the field? There's some all along through there. What do I do about that? Some right there. This is a little less even, a little more yellow. I really think that's the corn on corn. There's a penalty for us to do corn on corn. We can't do continuous or just keep planting the same crop. That's why we rotate most of our acres. But it was going to throw our acre split and balance way out of proportion if I didn't do some this year. So we did do some. And Usually, like in this field, I put a little extra nitrogen on to counteract that. We'll hit it here with our fungicide. I'm gonna use a little bit better fungicide on the corn acres than I did on the rotated acres, just to help kill any disease that might already be out here since we have all this residue. So clean out here in the field. This is another one we just need to perimeter it. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 leaf collars. That one's almost a 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yep, time to go. Thistle there. There's a few spots I've noticed some thistle patches. I noticed with the side dressing bar. Just a few random spots. They're worse than the beans than they are the corn, but we might need to try and catch those as well. Now they might, once we get some rain and get some herbicide in them, they might suffer from that a little bit too, but we'll see. The wind is picking up. I don't know if we're gonna be able to spray today, so we'll see on that. We might just be running around scouting and getting everything ready to go for when we don't have any wind. Sounds like there's another decent chance of rain coming through tonight, but there was last night and it evaporated right as it got to the Indiana-Ohio state line, and we didn't get anything really, so I'm not counting on it, but hopefully we get some rain. Here's our bridge that they have closed. Let's go see if it's possible to squeeze through here with the gator, because our irrigated field's on the other side of it, and I would really like to be able to get through there. Not getting through there. Not getting through there. Not getting through there. We might have to bring the backhoe up and nudge one of them barriers over enough that I can get through. Maybe the four-wheeler might make it through there. That's super frustrating. Let's look here. We got, there's nobody coming. Let's just look. The road commission made a Facebook post the day they put these barriers up and said that this bridge is closed. What was the wording? It's indefinitely. Closed indefinitely was their wording. This is probably a problem here. I can understand why it's closed. Yeah, that's a hole in the bridge. Not real good when all the rebar is rusted out. So, you know, there's that. Another hole there. There's a hole coming there. There's holes over there. This Four Corners Bridge here that this road's not real busy, main road, obviously going north and south, and the farm is south there. But this east-west road is a little bit busier. So now I see a vehicle with some flashing lights up there. There's another bridge down there, just behind where that truck is. And that one is a 7-ton weight limit bridge. So, and it's narrow. We can't get across it with any of our equipment anyway. So from a farm equipment standpoint, this doesn't hurt us. We don't have any fields that way. We do make this corner, but they're still allowing us to make that corner. So it's not the end of the world. The biggest issue for me and inconvenience is the fact that the irrigated field is a mile up that way, and I would run through there with the pickup all the time going up to check on the irrigated stuff. When Dad talked to the guys when they were putting the stuff in there, they basically told him that, yeah, this bridge was like one of the last ones to not get funded in 2026 for replacement from some federal funding transportation bill, something, I don't know. But they're hopeful that in 27 we'll get funding, which means that that bridge is closed for at least a year and a half. I would bet that it's going to be longer. Another cornfield here. Let's see what this, man, this corn's big. Holy crap, this stuff looks awesome. Look at this. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. It's grown a lot since we side dressed this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This is the biggest corn I have seen yet. And not the first planted, but some of the best growing. We're along the river, right? We've got more moisture here. This stuff hasn't dried out like everything else. So this looks really good. Gosh, I hope we get some rain soon. Clean here. Don't see any weeds. Don't see anything. So we don't need to spray every acre with Roundup. But we might need to perimeter a few fields. That's what I'm thinking. And there's a couple fields down by the Turnpike that get grass on them really bad. According to our chemical guy, it's the landscape companies driving down the Turnpike, and they have grass or seed or debris or whatever, and it blows off the trucks, and so all the fields along the Turnpike tend to be really bad with grass. Yeah. Well, that's what we see, so we'll spray it. I do have this river crossing. Should we do it? There's more water flowing through here than I would have thought. Problem is that bank on the other side there, that one's pretty steep. We gonna make it? Our irrigated field's over there. I usually cross here, but man, that's really silted in. It's gonna be soft. We're gonna get stuck. Should we do it? It's good video. Will I be able to back out? I'm not gonna do it. Someday we will, but not today while I have a bed full of chemicals, fertilizer. That's probably not a good idea. I had some of the foliar stuff that was down in the seed warehouse, so I grabbed it to take it to the farm, and I didn't drop it off yet, so we're not gonna do that. Xander should be here pretty soon, so I want to get the corn planter hooked up. I'm gonna have him start cleaning that up today. Get all the seed out of it, power wash stuff a little bit. So hook that up and pull it around the front. All right, how much of this stuff do I have to hook up in order to make this planter just to unfold? I do need to run the meters and clear everything out. So yeah, and the fertilizer pump. So to make it to the point where it could plant, I don't need vacuum hoses or pressure, but she's dirty. Jeez, oh Pete, who got this so dirty? Come on. Well, there. Now Xander's got himself a project. That's a couple-day project, at least. All right, so we're looking at chemicals here and stuff. So mostly what we're going to spray is this A-Frame and A-Frame Plus. A-Frame is generic Quadris, made by Syngenta. It says Syngenta right on the box somewhere. I'm sure it does. It at least says it on the jug. Anyway, it's the same thing as Quadris. A-Frame Plus is Quadris Plus Tilt or Quilt XL. Again, made by Syngenta, same thing. We're going to use the A-Frame Plus where we had corn on corn, and we've got some corn stalk residue out there, and we might have a little bit more disease pressure. We're going to use the A-Frame on all of the rest of the corn that has very little disease pressure out there right now, but the azoxystrobin is a preventative fungicide that keeps disease from coming in. It's also the stress relieving component, so that's what we're going to use there. We're also going to use this source. Believe it or not, this source is enough for like all the corn and beans. It's a pretty low use rate, so we're going to use that on most of it, probably not all of it. I do have a tote of Miravis Neo over here. This is for tassel fungicide or R3 on beans, so we're not going to use that right now. Or we might do use a jug of it or something for some test purposes, just to see if using a more expensive fungicide is any additional benefit. But that costs way more than this. 5 times as much. It's a better fungicide, no doubt about it. But for this point in the year, I don't know if that is worth it. So this Brawl, this is dual S-metolachlor. That we're going to use in our soybean post-emerge pass here in another week or two. What do we got there? Boron, that's going in with our tassel fungicide. Clethodim, that'll go in beans to kill volunteer corn. And I don't know what else we got left over here yet. Liberty, some generic Liberty or glufosinate that we'll use on some bean fields, along with the ammonium sulfate that we need for that. More boron. I don't know what that one is. This is 2,4-D. That's for burn down on wheat stubble in the fall. Talinor, that's for spraying wheat in the fall. What is this one? Oh, zinc. Some liquid zinc. I didn't know we had liquid zinc left. No, that's not zinc. I know what that is. That is starter that I took out of the planter, left over. Yeah, that's not zinc. Yeah, it's green. That's starter that I drained out of the planter when we switched from corn to beans that one time and then never put back in because the shuttle got buried on me. But I didn't need it, so it was okay. And these green boxes here, these are additives, surfactants, water conditioners to make our glyphosate work better. We've got some anti-foam there, so that's what those pallets are. We use that mostly when we're spraying glyphosate, which we do have a shuttle of that over here yet. We might have to get some more if we've got to spray a bunch of corn, but we'll do a little bit, not a lot. Indigo, that's insecticide for going on beans later. These redox boxes, guy that I've worked with from another company in the past is now working for this redox. He wants me to try some of this stuff. Never used any of it, but there are some micronutrients that we're going to put on. We got to figure out where and when and how exactly. This one goes on soybeans, R3, fungicide timing. This one here, any place where soluble calcium would help. I have a couple of fields that I want to spray that on some beans. 16 ounces early or late. This one, these two are the same. We're probably going to use some of that on some V5 corn as well. What do we got over here? Some Enlist in case we need that on beans. We've got some more starter, in-furrow starter. Should have used that up. Oh well. And then this Ultramate Zinc, that's a full tote. That's actually left over from last year. We're going to use that on the irrigated field. With some, through the irrigation water later. I think that's what we're going to do with it. Maybe we'll spray it on foliar. I don't know. We're going to use it up there though. Anderson's I've been working with on this irrigated field. So that Ultramate Zinc is an Anderson's product that I really like. It's got some humic acid and some zinc in it, and I think it's a pretty good product. I didn't use as much of it this year as I have in the past, but I do like it. And then we've got some more of their stuff over here. Easy K19 to soluble potash and sulfur. Again, we're going to use that for the irrigated field. We've got 2 totes of that. We've got some microcarb. I thought there was something else on this pallet. Yeah. AeroNourish. Nitrogen, sulfur, boron, copper, manganese, and zinc. Aerial application solutions. I think this is supposed to go on with the drone. Maybe. Well, it doesn't have to, but that's probably what it's for. Well, I came down to those first fields that we planted to look here. We've had a little bit more rain here. We got like 3 or 4 tenths here instead of a tenth that we've had back at the farm. So not a lot, but a little bit. And this corn looks really good. Just trying to see if there was much for weed pressure. This was wheat last year. And we had some volunteer wheat out here, but it appears to mostly be dead, so that's good. Like, see, like here, this wheat, this is it's dying. It ain't gonna make it. There's a few of them you can tell that were green that have started to die off. So anyway, let's see where this corn's at. I left my truck running. I am just close enough that it keeps disconnecting the Bluetooth and it shuts off the recording every 5 seconds and it's driving me crazy. Anyway, 1, 2, 3. Is a V5 as well, but it's just a little bit bigger because we've had a little bit more rain here, so that's good. All right, apparently I have to shut my truck off every single time I get out of it if I'm going to record anything on my phone. It drives me nuts. Why does it care if I'm recording or not when it connects? Like, just keep recording. Well, on the subject of phones, I have a question for you guys. I was going to bring this up in a live stream and I forgot. So I have been a loyal, die-hard Android phone user for a long time. I started with Samsung. Well, I have had a few different Androids, but I've had Samsungs for the past probably close to 10 years now. Basically, every video that I have ever recorded for you guys that wasn't a GoPro or a drone has been on a Samsung phone. I've always thought that they had better hardware, and I like the operating system. I like these. However, I'm still running an S24 Ultra, so there's 2 newer models. I've been thinking about upgrading. My 360 Rain machine does not have an Android app. You have to run it with an Apple app. And that bugs the crap out of me. I hate being coerced into switching, especially by a equipment company. But it would make my life a lot easier to have an Apple phone from that standpoint. And I'm not super thrilled with the direction that Samsung seems to be taking with their AI and everything else. So Am I gonna hate my life if I switch to Apple? Will I absolutely hate my life? Will my videos suffer for you guys because their cameras aren't as good? Or am I gonna be able to edit these videos on an Apple phone? I don't know. I am considering making the switch, but it's making me very nervous that I'm gonna absolutely hate it. Back to walking cornfields. So right there is the Turnpike, and the last time we had corn on these fields, 3 years ago now, I guess, I got 0 off of these ends because the grass was so bad. And I sort of said something to our chem rep at the time about it, and he said, yeah, it's seed blowing off the Turnpike over there. I said, oh, well, I guess that kind of makes sense, but what do I do about it? And we do have some here. Right here. Right there. Now that one got some herbicide, but these ones did not. This is going to get real bad here, I think, if we don't spray it. Got a broadleaf there. It's dying. You can see we had some wheat that's dying. So this one, just based on history, makes me really nervous. And there's enough small stuff coming here that we've got to do something about it. Yeah, I think we're gonna have to spray this. So I don't think there was a deer. I don't think we need to do all the fields over there, but these ones over here that are closer to the Turnpike especially, I think we better spray them. One last field we want to look at here, the new farm. Corn looks good. This corn looks pretty darn good. And it's clean. I don't really see much out here. I thought we might have a little extra weed pressure out here, just based on the fact that it hasn't been in our program for a long time, long term, but I don't see anything. It's good. It's recovered from the anhydrous application. Looks good. Neighbor's putting on 28 over there right now. Yeah, I don't see anything out here. This is super clean. Looks really good. So for the most part, our pre-emerge herbicides have worked. They've done well, even with the lack of rain, which is encouraging. I thought things would be a little worse than they are. So most of the corn is somewhere between V4 and V6. Just about the perfect timing to get it sprayed. I do think it's a touch breezy today with just fungicide. We probably would be all right if we're not putting any glyphosate in. But I don't know if we're going to do any today. We got to get the GPS stuff put back in the sprayer, make sure we got water, get the chemicals out, all that kind of stuff, and so we're ready to go. Typically, it's not windy in the mornings. We can get 2, 3, 4 loads sprayed in the morning before the wind picks up, and then we'll have to wait until the next day. So we'll see. I guess there is a pretty decent chance of rain here tonight yet. With any luck, we'll catch some rain, and we won't be able to spray tomorrow because it'll be too muddy. I'm okay with that. Xander's working on getting seed out of our planter so we can start cleaning that up. I'm going to take this GPS stuff that I had yesterday, throw away my Chick-fil-A bag, go get this stuff put back on the sprayer. Well, I spent a little time getting our chemicals ready to go and stuff brought out here. I've got the glyphosate up there we'll use on just a couple of loads, it looks like. But I also have a shuttle of boron and some zinc. We're going to throw a little bit of that stuff in foliar. So I got to get the lines connected to our adductor tree here. So I'll work on that. 2 of them are going to be easy. I have not hooked up or made up a third hose yet. So I need to make up the third hose and get that connected. I should have all the parts that I need or components somewhere on a bench or in the back porch there or somewhere. So, yeah. It's not as windy now as it was. You can see the flags down at my place, but I don't know if I want to do any today or not. I haven't decided yet. I made up a 2-inch with a reducer, and I put an elbow in down to a 1-inch quick connect, and I got 2 hose barbed ends and some hose. We just need to cut the right length to get to there. We might rotate that up a little bit. And then we can hook that one up. We'll have our 3. I got a 6-port deal here for this, and really, I think we've used the 3 is the most we'll have used. Didn't probably need 6, but it was really cheap to add them compared to what a a 3, or I think a 4 was the lowest. It was like $150 to add the 3 more valves, so I thought, well, we'll just get them that way in case. I thought maybe we'd be trying to spray and plant at the same time, and I would be trying to suck zinc out of a shuttle, and Dad would have a atrazine and a Storin and a Tendovo, and we'd have all kinds of stuff sitting here we'd be wanting to pull from, so yeah, I just got it, but haven't really needed that much. So, but this, for the most part, has worked out really, really well. All right, there we go. Got that one hooked up. So we've got our glyphosate, zinc, boron. That's awesome. All right, we've got baseball games tonight here in about an hour or so. I gotta leave, so I'm gonna go ahead and close up some doors. I think we're good to go in the morning. I need water yet. We don't have much water. I didn't really want to run the well or the water into the tanks while Xander's power washing the planter, because sometimes the well can't keep up with both of those things. So when he's done, I'll turn the water on to the spray tanks, and they should be full in the morning. And that'll be enough to keep us going. So I'll close up some doors here, let him know I'm taking off, and go to baseball. He's been working on this for a little while now. He's getting there. Get the heavy dirt off of stuff, so that's good. Yeah, still got some mud over here on this side. We'll get there. Tomorrow we'll plan on taking row units off here. I want to spin the belts. There's probably still some seed in them. We can do that from the monitor. Probably just leave this sit here overnight. We'll work on it some more tomorrow. We're still working on it, bud. So that's the plan. I get my GPS receiver off there. We're done with that. Trying to be real careful with the electronics and not spray water into stuff for high pressure on things that are sensitive. Yeah. All right, well, we had a little change of plans here. I was going to go to Brayson's game tonight, but
my coach is on big.
Coaches texted, and one of them is going to be gone for Ryland's team, and the other one might have to be our umpire, which seems slightly unfair, but what are you going to do, right? That's 10U baseball. So
one of the umps we had a couple times was Brody's brother.
Yeah, one of our players' brothers. This is little league, or 10U baseball. They use local kids as the umpires. Usually it's high school kids. So they're kind of biased anyway, so coach is probably going to be as fair as anybody would be.
Supposed to have related as
I think that's probably true. Anyway, point being, they were going to be short coaches, and since I am technically helping coach and been there, they asked if I could come to Ryland's game. So I'm going to Ryland's game, and Brayson's a little upset about that, but it's okay. I'll go to all his games. His next games are tournament games, so I will go to all of his, regardless of where Ryland's playing. And then he's on the All-Star team for 8Us, and so I'll go to all of those as well. But we're gonna do good tonight.
I hope.
I hope so too.
Last night.
Yeah, we had a rough one there on Tuesday, didn't we?
Yeah.
That team was good. That's all right. We'll get a win tonight. It's the last game before your tournament starts. Did you know that?
We have another game after the tournament.
We do have a game scheduled after the tournament, but this is the last game before tournament. Tournament draws this weekend. We're 10-2.
We're 10-2.
So should get the 2 seed in the tournament. We'll see. Oh look, we're watering corn. Nice. Couple small pivots right here. They're from those barns over there that used to be a dairy, but I don't think they have any cows in there now, so probably just water they're putting on.